Welcome to Chamba Sports, where we highlight our community in the youth sports space and talk about the real passion behind the sports and how it heals us and makes us the best players in the game. With the help of our coaches, our athletes, our parents, and the fans, that's all of us. Let's get into it. Today, we have a special guest, but I will go ahead and let him introduce himself because I know he knows how to introduce himself, so he's going to make an entrance today.
All right. Hey, guys, thank you for having me, first of all. My name is James Cain. I'm the head football coach at Golden Valley High School.
All right. Thank you, Coach, for being here.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, super excited. We're super excited to get to learn more about, we know you, but want to get to know a little bit more about the passion behind the game.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I know, feel free to bring some exposure out. I know, all the high schools kind of get their exposure, but we want to make sure we put Golden Valley on the map. I know people are probably like, oh, they all like Golden Valley, but it's
Yeah, I appreciate that.
We're alumni, yeah. So, you want to start? I know you had some questions that you wanted to ask.
Oh, yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Okay.
No, but I want to get your backstory. How did you even get into sports? Was it football your first choice? Was it
No, actually, my first sport that I ever played and loved was soccer. So I was born here in Bakersfield, but when I was about 5, 6 years old, we moved to Fresno. And Fresno just, football wasn't exposed to me very early where I grew up, but soccer was. So I always wanted to be outside, play sports with whatever was going on. It wasn't a club, it wasn't a team, school's team. It was just friends out at the park, and they were playing soccer. So I got in and just, didn't know if I was any good or not, but I was out there. Anyways, got signed up with a school, and that's how I got started. Didn't do any football, all soccer all the time. And then when I was about 12, my mom moved us back home to Bakersfield, and it was different. They didn't have a lot of soccer at their schools. It was all club. And growing up, mom just couldn't afford to put me in club. So what did they have for free? They had basketball, like Boys and Girls Club. So then basketball was my next favorite sport. Whatever was free was for me. It was
it's true, though. It's
that's
true.
What mom was like. How much does it cost? Free. Okay, you got it. Let me sign that paperwork. But then, as I found out, I started out as the tallest kid, and then as the years went by, everyone kept going. I kind of stopped. Maybe basketball ain't for me. And then just a football coach came to me and seen that I had some ability, and his name was Jesse Toledo. A lot of people in town will know him. Great guy when it comes to the young people. He's like, hey, you want to play football? I never played it before, but sure, it's a sport. And he kind of introduced it to me. I was scared as heck. Didn't know what to expect. All I thought was these big old dudes with pads on. And kind of like throwing a kid in the pool. He just threw me in the water. He made me go against the biggest kid just so I can see that, it's just part of the game. And I got laid out first play practice, and it sucked. But I just fell in love with it right then and there. And no more, there was soccer on my mind, basketball. I was all football because I kind of found my spot where you didn't have to be the tallest. You didn't have to be all that. And those other sports had some criteria that I didn't have anymore. So, that's kind of how it started. I was in 7th grade, and Jesse Toledo introduced me to tackle football, and the rest was history. I kind of fell in love with it from there and so on. So there's always a coach that kind of got me involved. So then I moved on to South High School, where I went to there and graduated in 2002. Had some great people in my life. Kerry Mills that we just played against, and love him, but I love to compete against him as being my old coach. He was a mentor. Got me. I tell people all the time, got me through school, man. He was that teacher that, grabbed me in the hallway, get to class. Hey, you got that paperwork? Let me get it done for you, or help you get it done. John Wren, he's not with us anymore. He was another great mentor. He wasn't a teacher at the time. He was just the equipment trainer guy, but he, bought into helping you succeed. So he was always barking at me. Steve Falk, he's not with us anymore. These are all people that, kind of taught me how to, as a person, help me grow in so many different ways. Where I just saw myself as an athlete. Other coaches saw me as an athlete. They did too as well, don't get me wrong. But they also wanted to help develop kind of the whole person. And I didn't see that at first, but now then as an adult, I kind of can go back to all those memories. So then, got through high school with them. At 18, graduated. My goal is I'm going to go play some college ball. Had a pretty good, decent high school career. There were some opportunities out there. But like I tell my kids, and, this is the audience one, right?
That's the audience
take
camera
school
right there.
serious, guys. It's more true now than it was even back when I was in school. where, if you could play a little bit, they kind of look the other way. Now it's not like that. You don't have grades, they're not going to take a chance on you. So that's kind of where I was at. My grades weren't great. So it was like, what do you want to do? You want to take this small opportunity and travel 10 hours away to play at a small school, or do you want to go to Bakersfield College and try to go bigger? Bakersfield College was my choice. Gave it a shot. Now, here's the thing where I tell people all the time. There's always that it will never happen to me until it happens to you. Coach is telling you to make good decisions, or people telling you to make good decisions. I love my baby to this day, but I was 18 years old about to have a baby. So, like real life decisions,
we know how that feels.
We
know how that feels.
So real life decisions, and love my baby to death. But happy birthday to my daughter. She's 22 today.
Oh, happy birthday!
I have a 22-year-old. So the decision need to be made, right? What do you want to do? Do you want to try to continue to chase this dream, which there's nothing wrong with that if you got the support. I was in a situation where I didn't have the support. I come from a house of 7, single mom. And it was like, I'll help you as much as I can, son, but what are you going to do? So then the choice was, I'm going to go to work. I have to be a man about this, So went to work, did the best I could to try to help support and provide while her mom continued her school and education, which was the best decision I ever made because, she wanted that for her life, and I wanted to try to do what I can. And we just worked hard together on trying to grow up and learn how to be parents. And we struggled, and these kids, I'll tell them right now, if you have another choice, please take it, because being a struggling 18-year-old, a baby raising a baby is no fun.
Oh, yeah.
But then I still missed the game. I was like, what can I do? I'm 19 years old now, still having that, like, man, I should have did this, I should have did that, I missed the game. I had Jesse Toledo reach out and say, hey, you want to help me coach the youth ball? You're your old youth team. Sure, man. I'll help. Jack Frost Oilers. You want to go back? Sure. I went out there and helped him just coach a position, and, man, I loved it. I was in love, dude. I just love being able to coach these young guys, being able to talk to them the way coaches talk to me and teach. And then it was like, that's all I wanted to do. I mean, I wanted, I knew I had responsibilities, but it was like I got to a point where I was scheduling my job around coaching. It was like, dude, I'm
looking at someone over here. I'm like,
I can't work this overtime. Why? I got practice.
Yeah.
We got a game. And so, stuff like that, I just fell in love with it. And at 20 years old, I had my very first youth team. I had the Jack Frost Marauders over at West High School. And that was hard because I was a kid that I was 20, but I looked like I was 17, 18 at the time. And parents are looking at me like, I'm looking for the head coach. That's me. Like, no. So so ever since then, I was 19, 20, first team, and it hasn't stopped. I've been some way doing football or coaching since then. I am big 4-0 now. So from 19 years old to 40, I've been involved in coaching youth to high school at some point.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's been a long run, but I still love it and I still enjoy it. So that's why I still sign up to do it every single year.
That's awesome. Yeah. I didn't even know that part, so I think that even brings me more joy because I'm like, wow, like there's on so many terms, it's like us, like, we had our first son younger than you.
Right.
Which was very hard, and we really, really understand like how that feels because our baby was at his games.
My senior year, he was there.
I understand the passion behind it. I think when we met you as head coach for Golden Valley, like I was like, oh, there's something special. And now that you're talking to us and telling us, I'm like, there's something even more special. Right. And I think that is really like, that's amazing because now you don't know how much joy that brings me because I'm like, wow, we literally in the same position. He is coaching under you now. So like, I mean, he's under you. The opportunity. Same thing. I'm like, I know you, and I'm the one who kind of pushed to get him to coach too. Because I saw the passion, right? Right after high school, I know he wanted to go out too. And sorry, baby.
It's all good.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I had to go work.
I had to go to work. So
sure.
definitely, if you guys have the support, a lot of kids do have the support. Mm-hmm. We recommend like sticking to the game, like, keep your head in the game. Right. And it's really important. You don't know how far you can get with the sport. So
that's right.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
No,
I'm like, it was so meaningful to me.
And it's awesome because like I told people all the time, like, a lot of people, they just come out and drop their kid off to play football, which, cool. We don't mind being the daycare for a while. It's all good. But we just ask that you guys have to understand that the passion that we have for the game also means we sacrifice to be out here with your kids as well. We give up a lot to help mentor or coach your young person, which we know that's what we sign up for. So you'll never hear a coach complain if we can get back in return kind of that, how can I say, that appreciation of, hey, coach, I appreciate you spending that time with my kid. You don't have to do this, because if anybody thinks that we do it for the money, well, if I could show you my check stub, yeah, but
how many hours we put in, right?
We do it because we really enjoy working with the young people, and we try our best to help them be successful and maybe make an impact that somebody had on us. It's like I heard one time, and I always repeat this to the kids, be something to someone. And all those guys I listed for you guys were something to me, and I can reach back and take something from a message they maybe gave me once upon a time, even though I didn't get it at the time. I didn't understand why Jesse Toledo was making me do all those up downs, even though I was only 10 minutes late to practice. It's all about teaching you real life stuff, man. You're late to work on a regular, what happens? And so those are things that I reach back in. I try to teach our kids now, and they give me the same look I gave him back in the day. Like, dude, what is this? I don't get it. But then I fast forward, quick funny story. I had a kid that graduated already from GV. He comes back and he laughs and he says, man, coach, want to hear something funny? I'm like, what's up? He got fired from my job. I was like, what do you mean? Like, how's that funny? Like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, you know why I got fired? I was like, what? He goes, my tardiness in attendance. And he goes, and the first thing I thought about was you, because all the times you yelled at me and didn't start me because I was late or I missed a practice or so on, you were kind of just getting me ready for real life. That's not acceptable. I was like, you know what, man? Gave him a hug and I said, I hope you learn from this. I'm glad you're able to take something from this. And we just had a good little laugh about it. So it's things like that those things are coming true now, that the things I was taught as a young person that I'm trying to be to these guys, it's starting to come back around. And that's all I try to do, man. That's all I try to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I see the passion that I think Golden Valley was looking for too when they got you on. Maybe like I said, I was around at that time and everything. But like I said, I see the passion that you have for the game, and like I said, I think you're perfect.
Yeah, appreciate that, guys. I appreciate
position that you're in. So yeah,
I appreciate that.
So tell us a little bit about when you got into Golden Valley.
So I was before Golden Valley, I was always in youth ball, and I love youth ball, and I had guys always trying to get me to come to high school, and I just didn't want to go because I love coaching the young guys. They were so coachable. It was yes, coach. It was no, coach. Hey, man, you see that wall that's right there, a brick? Yeah, go run through it. Yes, coach. It was like, I love them. You know what I mean? Like they would just want to be, yes, coach, whatever. It was the fear I had was getting into high school was you hear all the horror stories of kids that start to change when they get around the girls or the friends, the bad influence. It becomes a little more difficult to coach and mentor. But then I know I had a buddy that became a head coach of a frost-off group at East High School. And he's like, hey, man, come help me out. I finally took it. Okay, let's do it. And, all the changes were there that I was afraid of. But I kind of like got into the point of you can coach these kids a little different and you can make an impact that's kind of more in a crucial stage because high school is a big, change moment right there. And I kind of like, I wanted to be frost off. I was like, this is just another step up from that level. Mentally they're not that much more advanced, right? It's a 14-year-old in 9th grade, a 12, 13-year-old in 7th grade. So I did frost off for a while for East High School, and I loved it. I kind of I was blessed that I worked under people that let me kind of run my own little show, meaning from our discipline to our whatever we wanted to do, and he'll tell you I'm all about our coaches looking good as our players. So I wanted us to look uniform. They think, whatever you want to do, James. And I loved it. And we had some success on our lower level over there. And our administration noticed and gave me an opportunity to kind of move up over there. So I was at East High doing their lower levels. Then I went to Varsity to kind of run offense and do our thing. We did some good things. Golden Valley came open. We had an administrator there that came from East High and really liked what we were doing. And he asked me to apply. So I applied. And the first time I applied, a lot of people don't know this, I applied for Golden Valley's job twice.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The first time I applied, they didn't have a place to put me on campus. So basically what a lot of people might not know as well is I think, as the last I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody reach out to me, I'm the only non-credentialed head football coach in Bakersfield. So meaning I'm not a teacher or anything like that. So I'm considered what they call certificated because my position doesn't ask me to have a credential. I'm a community specialist / campus supervisor. And so I went into Golden Valley the second time around after not getting it. And I was a little bummed because I thought, man, Golden Valley's a great place to be. We just played them. I saw the great athletes they had. Something's not right there. Why are they not doing well? And I was like, man, I believe in myself enough that I could go over here from East High, which we have a lot of similarities to our Golden Valley. Like, they might live on the other side of town, but there's a lot of similarities here.
Definitely.
And I was like, I think I can go over there and kind of maybe try to see. I want an opportunity. So the second time around, I swallowed my pride. I took whatever job they can give me on campus. Just get me on campus. I took it. And it was everything that I thought it was going to be. It was tough. It was some bad things kind of going on. Accountability was tough. Kids kind of wild, wild west. Like, do what you want to do, show up when you want to show up, and I'm still going to play, coach. And my first year trying to tell people, no, that's not how it's going to go. It was hard. And that's a hard balance, man, is you want to have the best kids on the team. You want to compete, but you also want to kind of instill some discipline. It's just hard, you know?
Yeah.
So we tried our best the first couple of years to do it. And we were starting from everywhere, from participation in our rosters were small. I think year one, we finished the season off with like 18, 19 kids going against Bakersfield Christian that year. They won state that year. And you're like, whoa, what do we do here?
Wow,
But,
I had no idea.
Yeah, and it was it was on and off the field. And the young lady you guys spoke to previously, you know, her family was big in our program. You know, Mrs. Rocha, mom, she was like one of my only parents that was trying to help me do team meals and stuff or stuff like that. It was like the beginning of stages were hard. It got to a point where we were like picking games. What's the most important games? That maybe we'll feed the boys then, because we can't afford to do this every week.
Yeah.
And we don't have a booster club here and stuff like things that I was learning that I was like, whoa, you don't have a booster club? We just can't go spend money. Those things were hard. But then, so got to Golden Valley 7 years later, kind of just staying on the grind and being lucky to have some administrators that were understanding of the situation and let me kind of take the time to do this, because I told them it's not going to be an easy turnaround. 7 years later, we're in a position where, thanks to the people that stuck it out, you know, my guy here wanting to be a part of the change too, and getting good coaches in that believe in our kids and our program and how we need to do things. We have parents that we have weekly meals now, thanks to our parents that want to sign up. We bust our butt to make sure our kids have everything they want to have. They look good, they feel good, and we're competing. 2 years ago, finally flipped things around from our 0-10s and 1-9s to they win league championship. We make playoffs for the first time in 10 years.
Yes.
To last year, we go 9-3 and go on set school records. That's all because at the very beginning, we sold our program to those kids that be the difference. You know, it's easy to jump up and transfer schools just because things aren't going your way. And you want to go jump on with your buddy at one of those other schools that are loaded with talent. And you either want to just be a part of a team and just have a uniform, or do you want to be on a team that you made a difference? It's because of you we're doing well. And that's just my sales pitch to the guys. I respect every decision. If you're going to go. I respect your decision. But just know that when you're here, I can't promise you're going to win a Valley Championship. I can't promise you're going to get a scholarship. Your abilities will dictate that stuff. But I will promise that I'll show up every day, work my butt off for you. I'll do what I can to help you. You do your part, I'll do my part type of, vibe. And, so far we're making those changes. We're looked at it as a better program. Expectations are high for us now. And now it's just about getting these kids to kind of come in and buy into what we say the standard is the standard. Protect the standard now. Guys, before you laid it and the foundation and started the standard, your job is to protect it now. So that's kind of our call there. So sorry to go a little long there.
No, you're good. You're good. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's about you kind of showing that exposure. I think even as us, as Golden Valley alumni, I think it's really important, having somebody who, brings so much joy to the program and is, doing so much change. I think it's super important that. I love seeing that too, just because you're bringing such a difference, even from when we were, there, they losing games all the time. But now there's just that motivation. I was at the game on Thursday with JV, and I was sitting at the edge of my seat, boys, we got this. And it is about protecting the standard, making sure that every year the boys set a higher bar, right? And so I think that's really important, and I think now you have more support than ever, right? All of you, the staff,
absolutely.
And I think everybody is there. We're there to kind of support.
Absolutely. We appreciate that, because it wasn't always like that. So from our staff, we try to get them involved with, support the boys on a Friday night. I always try to tell them, hey, man, it means a lot to our guys if you tell them good job or you recognize something they did positive. Because before it was, when I first got there, was just a lot of complaining about our athletes' behavior, things like that. Okay, well, I'm going to do my part to try to make the positive. One way you can help us is if you let them know you recognize the positive from our dress code. A lot of guys don't know, but we're not, I'm a polo khaki guy on a Friday. And our boys at first were like, what, coach? But they started buying in when they started noticing their teachers and administrators tell them how nice they look and how professional they look. All of a sudden, I got guys like wanting to help me pick the color that year. Coach, can we wear this color instead? It's all about just, getting them ready for, it's the positive enforcements type stuff. And then, these kids buy into when I have a rule or have a standard, they're wanting to do it because they want to be a part of the program and they want to continue that change that we have going on. That's all.
Yeah, I think it's really important. What are some of the goals that you have for the program as you continue to grow it?
Yeah, obviously the obvious goal is as a coach and a competitor is I want to see these boys win. They work too hard not to have some success. So we preach about this is why you do what you do so you can be successful on the football field. I think that's given, right? We play this sport to win. So let's go win some football games. But ultimately, being at schools like East High and being at schools like Golden Valley, you have to almost take on this role of you play a bigger part in these kids' life than just coaching sports. And it took me a couple years to understand that. It was all about let's get the win, let's get the win, let's get the win. And then I found out we were having kids finish our seasons and not graduate high school or barely graduate high school. And that kind of bothered me because I felt like that kind of left, that's an impression on our program, right? And I'm not saying every kid's you're gonna reach every kid, but we're gonna try. So, we mentor them. So my goal is for our program is to kind of, and I said this to our kids and I said this to our parents before in our meetings, is we want to develop the whole person, kind of like what my coaches try to do to me, except I try to do it sooner than later type of deal, is just kind of get them to be good athletes, one. Two, and in this time you're with us, how can we help you grow in other places? How can you help you mature? How can you, and whether it's treat people right, whether it's teach you to be on time, work ethic. When times get hard, you don't quit type of vibe, and that way, by the time they leave us, they're leaving us prepared and ready to take on the world. They're more prepared. I have guys, and I've done it in my past, where they'll say, man, you had this kid that was a great athlete. He didn't go anywhere. So Golden Valley can't get kids out to college? Hold on. It's not for me to put this kid's business out there, but let's go look at transcripts. And now you feel like I'm a failure because as much as this kid killed it for you on the football field, he barely graduated high school. So what are you doing? So we try. We're not going to reach every kid, but something we try to get in their ear is academic part of it. That I can't guarantee you a Valley, I can't guarantee you a scholarship, but I can guarantee you that life happens after you leave here. And are you prepared to take it on when it happens? So get your diploma. Because nowadays, man, having a diploma gets you $21 at In and Out. Jeez, man. I started with when I first started the railroad. My first oil fields is big, right? People make big money. I remember my first oil field job as a little tool guy hand. I was making $12 some change. And now you're telling me the In and Out people make $20-something an hour. And I'm like, whoa. So, but I tell the kids, man, you gotta just a diploma is huge. So. But that's our thing is my goal for my kids is just, when you leave us, be ready to take on the world.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you so much problem. Coming out and joining us.
Oh, yeah, and I appreciate you also, like I said, as you bringing me on and, like I said, even mentoring me and the other guys. I said I got Odo out there, which actually played under too. So Preston's out there too. So like I said, it's just... you guys are teaching me a lot too when it comes down to coaching because as you said too, what happened to you is that you love the passion, the game and everything. And me, I kept dreaming about playing football again. And I was like, man, like you said, if I would be out there a couple more snaps and everything, what could I have done different? So it just lays on me. But this helps me a lot and everything to know I can make a difference with helping these boys out. For sure.
I know you make those guys feel young, knowing that you're out there and they coached you and all that. And then, the thing about it, Coach, and you will learn about this is, is you have that opportunity to make these impact. You might not even know it until later in their life. I can't tell you how many times now it's happened to me from going back from my Jack Frost coaching days to now. I'll run into a kid in the grocery store with his family, and he'll have a kid now, he'll have that, and they still remember me. Coach Cain, it's me from the Marauders. And like, and I don't try to let my old age, I'm like, yeah, and then it's like, but it's crazy is how much they still appreciate at time, introduce their kid to you. This is Coach Cain. He's my first football coach. And you just see the excitement they still have on their face. And you're like, dude, that's awesome, man. And I get, especially when it happens in front of my own kids, and they look at me like they don't, sometimes my kids don't understand why you want to coach so bad, how much you love it. And then they see that interaction I have with people, and they like, dude, that's pretty cool, Dad. Like, he remembers you. Like, yeah, like, I don't know. This kid is, I don't know if I'm the guru of it all, but maybe he took something from that family atmosphere we tried to incorporate, that accountability, that brotherhood, that, and he maybe took it into his own life. But anyways, he looks like he's doing good. He remembers me when he thinks about his experience with me. It was all smiles and all that. I'm sure not every kid feels the same way, but I try that. I want to make sure I get that goal of that message out there to them. But but like I said, we're going to continue to grind and expose our kids out here to people that might not realize we're here. I tell people in Golden Valley, we have that small town mentality. Our circle over there in Hoskins, man. That's our little town. Yeah. And a lot of people don't love it. I might even forget we're there sometimes. But every once in a while we get an opportunity. We have to let people know we're here and that our kids are doing good things as well. And that's why I think I love sport and I love the football. And I'm so passionate about them doing well, that because the people in the world and the people in our own town, football is a big deal. So when your football team is doing well, right, they want to all of a sudden be like, oh, that's Golden Valley. You know how many people ask me, where's Golden Valley again?
Yeah,
Holy
exactly.
shoot,
we're on the other end.
Right. So the fact that you have to remind people where our campus is lets you know how people kind of get fixated on, those bigger programs, right? And I just think it's fair to our kids that people kind of understand that, we are a program too. We are school too. Our kids need that love too. So don't forget about it. And until you guys remember us, people like us are going to continue to push the Golden Valley out there, that we're around, man. Like, we're doing some good things too, whether it be swim, whether it be wrestling, whether it be football, whether it be academics. We basically have kids doing great things too. And it blows my mind when I open up a paper and I just hear about, no disrespect to those other schools, about how their kids are going to these great colleges and military, but don't realize how many kids we have going to an Ivy League or to a military or so on. But because we have to remind people where Golden Valley is, we don't get that exposure. So people like you guys having podcasts and platforms like this that want to highlight us Golden Valleys, us Del Oros, us McFarlands, and so on, this is kind of like that step towards where we need to go. And I'll always be proud to be a part of you guys' things. Invite me anytime. We can talk anytime you guys want. And if I could, I'd talk a little bit more about it because I have plenty to say. I've been known to be a so-called hater because I talk Golden Valley so much and people think I hate on other schools, but it's not about that. It's just I want fairness around the whole town. Yeah. If we're going to say 661 strong, Golden Valley is part of 661. Del Oro is part of 661. Miramonte, we're all 661. So when those newspaper clippings come out, those top athletes in town come out, let's not forget we got some good kids on the other side of town too. So that's my moment, Golden Valley moment and all that. So I appreciate you guys for having me. It's been fun. And, anytime, let's do it again.
And then, sorry, just last thing I want to add too. I want to ask, throughout your journey and everything, I know, it takes a lot of time up and everything. I guess, is there anybody you want to thank too?
Yeah, I want to thank my family. I would not be doing this without my family's blessing. It's a conversation we have every year. I've been at this, like I said, 19 years old to 40 years old. And there was a time in my life where conversations weren't had. I was just doing it. I made a decision. I come home like, hey, surprise, I just took on a football program. What? I'm the new head coach. Didn't talk about it. Didn't tell them how much time it was going to take, how much finances or sacrifice it was going to be on myself personally, professionally, and my family. Now we're at a point where year to year we talk. And just being honest, and I'll put that out there. Year to year, I have to get the blessings from my family to say, yeah, we support you. We know you love it, Dad. We know you love it. We want you to do this. Cool. I'm out there. And, so I have to thank them, they allow me to do this. I thank the administration at Golden Valley High School for taking a chance on me. They didn't have to. Like I said, I'm the only non-credentialed head football coach. So for them to give me a chance, and they believe in me when I sold myself that this might be the best way to go, because sometimes it's not I'm just because you have a credential doesn't mean you're best qualified. Our kids need maybe some sort of different vibe, different personality. And yeah, I don't want to try to encourage anybody, don't go to school. But I really thought, being from East High and the Golden Valleys, they needed someone that kind of represented them and understood them. Because like I said, I'm a South High kid. I grew up in Cottonwood, Watts, Casaloma, South Chester. So all the things they go through now, I went through as a kid. I know how hard life can be. I know how it's tough to not have all the things that you wish you had, the fancy cars, the nice home, the money. I knew it. So when they're going through their struggles, I'm able to kind of understand, like, hey, dude, I was there you were at. I grew up in a house of 7, and I had a decision. I'm a South High guy, South High rebel. I'm not a Spartan. I'm a rebel.
Everybody says that.
I'm a rebel. But so all the stuff you guys go through, I went through it. Walking to school, walking to practice. We had 2-a-days back in the day. I remember practice started at 6 in the morning, and I was on a get bus. And if I missed the get bus, I was walking. It was what it was. So when these kids go through these struggles, they can't make it to practice for whatever reason they have. It irritates me, because as a coach, you want your guys to be there, but in the back of your mind, I understand. And this is what made me feel like I was the best fit for this job. So when I sold myself to the administration, because those reasons why, I appreciate them taking a chance on me. And 7 years later, the last I checked, they were still happy with the decision. So I thank you to them. So again, my family, thank you. Administration, thank you. To all the people that's come in and support us, from you guys, our parents, that finally we got it to a point where we feel like our kids feel the love and appreciation. Our parents are there to support them, feed them, all these things that other schools were having that they weren't having. We're at where we think we saw this program being, and all it is just appreciation so much, that from year 1 to year 7 where we're at, it was a struggle. The old song, started from the bottom, now we're here. And we have a long way. We have a long way to go still. We're not nearly where we want to be. But dude, if you were part of this from the beginning, and you see it now, you would be like, wow, it's awesome. So thank you to everyone that supported us. Thank you to my family that supported me. Happy birthday again, Layla. I'll be home here pretty soon. When this goes, she's waiting on me to get her day started. But again, it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make, and I don't mind making, because I have the support of those people, behind me.
That's awesome. Well, we thank you. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And awesome. Love getting to know you a little bit more.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, thank you guys for what you do as well. And thank you for having me. And I hope this thing continues to grow, because we need this type of stuff in town for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like Coach Cain said, we are 6'11", right?
6'6".
I'm like 6'6".
Yeah.
I'm so off. It's okay, guys. But we are one community, like we mentioned before. Bakersfield is one community, no matter what side of town you live on. We would love to have you guys on the podcast. If you're from Del Oro, it's a newer school, East, Highland, Miramonte, Frontier, Liberty, wherever you're at, and you want to come share your story and get to know us, and so we can get to know you, the community can get to know you, feel free, send us a DM, send us a message, just reach out so we can do more things like this. And don't forget to
like and subscribe.
And yeah, you're getting it. I'm getting it. And we'll see you guys on the next one.